Hello YouTube, hope you're having a fantastic Saturday. I was gonna go to the rally, but I got lazy and I actually got hooked on this movie called A Kept Woman. And I tell y'all, I thought it was a series, but it's actually a movie on Prime and you have to see it. It is just so good. And the scary thing about it is it's based on a true story. And I wanted to talk a little about stranger danger because I feel like in a lot of situations, it could be prevented if you just listen to that gut. As women, a lot of the times, we don't listen to our gut and we go into situationships, relationships, sometimes even friendships. You have red flags of somebody, like I've told y'all about the 3 so-called friends. There were red flags and I never went stage left. I just thought that they was friends, and it's like I feel like there's always red flags. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes there are situations I've heard where women have gotten married and the man changes after the wedding, literally. But I feel like there's little red flags that you just have to pay attention to as far as stranger danger. And that's what A Kept Woman is about. This man was her neighbor, a stranger. So in the beginning of the movie, her fiance, they get robbed, and so she's like, we gotta move. That's just natural. If you get robbed, you're not gonna want to stay. So they move to the suburbs and they get a house that's expensive for the fiance, and he could barely afford it, but he did that to appease her. And unfortunately, the neighbor, he lured her into his house and he kept her captive for I think a few months, long enough for him to sell the house. And eventually, luckily, he did not kill her, but he killed his the other woman in the house. But he didn't kill her because in his sick mind he loved her. But he didn't kill her, and luckily he did not kill the fiance. They were able to get back together and live happily ever after. And the guy who kidnapped her did go to jail, so it was a very happy ending. And she tells him in jail, she's like on the phone with him, like, I played you at your own game. I made you think that I cared about you so I could get out of Dodge. She's very smart in it. She hit him upside the head the first time, and then she tied him up. And then another time she made him eat pie with his hands so he could put his fingers on the coal. And so when he dashed out, she kind of set it up where her fiance will come looking for her. I don't know how she set that up. I have to rewatch it. But she was very clever in all of this. She was very smart. And it just shows you instinct. I know for me, I would have never, with codes, if you keep at it, it eventually has to unlock, So I know I would have kept trying, girl. He probably would have killed me the first day, because me, nah. But I wanted to talk about stranger danger because it's something that is real and something that you can avoid. Now, in the first scene, he introduces himself to the couple and he kisses her hand. Strike number 1. You never let a man kiss your hand. Obviously, some people might say, oh, it's a nice gesture, whatever. Don't allow it, because in some men, this is not all men, but you allowing him to kiss your hand, especially with a man like him, he's thinking that you like him, that you actually, so you have to understand, some men are really sick in the head. Some men, they may not go as far as kidnap you, but you have men that you can't even have a conversation with because in their head they think that you like them. I mean, it's really weird out here. People are very strange. They think that something as simple as a conversation, oh, she must like me because she had a conversation with me. Even with my ex I told y'all about, he was weird like that too. He was like, oh, I could tell she wants me because I'm like, what? She doesn't want you. She's at a grocery store. Like, any little thing, he would think somebody want him. So I say that with some men, you have to be very careful, like how you come off. You know, you could be friendly, whatever, but don't let nobody kiss your hand. The second red flag for me was, he said he was a professor at a college and taught men's studies. First of all, anybody who's ever been to school, the whole curriculum is men's studies. Like, most of the mathematicians were men. Most scientists are men. And not to mention, most historians are men. Our presidents are all men. So I'm confused as to why do you have to have men's studies? Most of the things that we study in college, high school, or junior high, elementary, were all created by men. So then you're gonna go on and have men's studies. So even though it was just a script, if anybody ever said to me that they teach men's studies, I'm automatically not talking to you, because you have to be a misogynist. Like, automatically, like, you're a misogynist. Why would you be teaching men's studies? That doesn't make any sense. Now, if you're teaching men's health, that's something totally different. Men's health is important. But men's studies, the whole world is men. Hell, God is even a man. Like Jesus, right? Jesus, Allah, Buddha, they're all men. So why would you then have to have men's studies and you're teaching that? You're a misogynist, like, automatically. Then his conversation was a turn off. He was like talking about his parents, and he felt like they was correct in the way they raised him. He was like, oh, you know, my mother never paid no bills. And it's like, even if your parents did grow up that way, that is wrong. It's wrong, because guess what? The financial economy that we in right now, a man cannot do it all unless if he's a successful lawyer and he made partner, or he's an athlete. Okay? Right now, 6 figures is not considered nothing no more. If you make 6 figures, you're considered a middle class person. So any man that's like, oh yeah, I'm a traditional man, you know, he was like asking questions that was none of his business. He was like, you work? Oh, if I had a lady at home, I would never let her work. Who asked you? Like, and they didn't catch on. And the man, it was just crazy that he was so oblivious to what was going on. Like, his conversation, he was basically testing the waters. Like, oh, let me see how far I could go with this dude. Because at the end of the day, yes, a man is head of his household, but he should have stepped up as a man, like, yo, back up. Don't be kissing my lady hand. Like, he should have set the boundary, you know. So that was weird. So the movie progresses, and she's telling her fiance, like, yo, I feel like he's creepy. He wasn't listening to her. He's like, oh, you always thinking something negative, da 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 da. She's like, no, something is wrong with him. Like, she's starting, as a woman, we have it, not just common sense, but as a woman, we have something called women's intuition. So we can feel and see things that a man can't sometimes. So she felt it in her gut. And ladies, I can't stress this enough. If you feel something in your gut, you feel like a man is weird, he is. And you need to go with it. It's so many men that I knew was weird, and when I didn't avoid them, I suffered the consequences tremendously. So if you feel like somebody's weird, they are. I'm telling you, they are. Stranger danger. And unfortunately, this guy kidnapped her. He lured her into his house, and he smiled in the guy's face. He's, oh, I hope you find Jessica. Meanwhile, Jessica was in his basement dressed up like the 1950s. It was so crazy because he was stuck in the 50s, this guy. You know, the traditional, and I wanted to touch a little bit on that. Like, not saying all relationships in the 1950s, but a lot of those relationships were not relationships. They were narcissistic. Women didn't have rights. Half the time, women didn't even get flowers. You know, You was looked upon as you cooked, you cleaned, and made babies, and that's all you were good for. And any man that thinks like that, that's not a man. What he is he's afraid of your intelligence and your success. You're more than just a baby making machine. You're more than just a homemaker. You could do all of that and then some. Some women can't do all of, some women, like, I've been able to raise my son, go to work, I cook, I clean, I went to school, and I work. Some women can't do all of that, but most of us can. So taking care of yourself is important so you don't end up with a man like that. Now, she was kidnapped, but there was another woman that she was, I guess you could say, brainwashed a little bit, but she actually wanted to be with him, and she was trying to kill her. When she was trying to kill him, she was trying to kill her. And she was like, you don't want to end up like Megan. She's like, what happened to Megan? She's like, I killed her. And then he ends up killing her instead, of Jessica. So it's a really, really good movie. It's called A Kept Woman, and it just shows the mentality of a narcissist. Like, ultimately, that's a narcissist. You kidnapping someone, you want to control their life. Yes, he provided, and you see her with the apron and she's cooking pot roast, the whole works. So it's like, it's crazy. But pay attention to stranger danger. Pay attention to things of, if you feel like a man has any type of romantic feelings in you, pay attention to that. Pay closer, especially if you're not interested. Now, if you are interested, obviously I'm not talking to you. But for those of you who you have a neighbor or anybody that's, it could be a coworker. If you are not interested in the man, please do not flirt back with him. Don't say anything sexual, because now for me, I've never done that. I would never say something sexual to somebody that I don't want to have sex with. Me personally, right? But you have women that do that, and then they get caught up in a situation. They like, well, I don't know why he's doing this. It's because you're entertaining it, Now, in some situations, some men will act crazy and you haven't done anything, which it does happen, right? But to minimize certain things is, don't let him kiss your hand. Try not to engage in long conversations. I learned that too. Somebody asking for your phone number. A lot of us are guilty of this. We give our number out, block him right away. Don't even give him no leverage of a phone conversation, because he's gonna think just by that phone conversation that y'all have something going on. I'm telling you. And this goes for my single women. I'm not just talking to married women. Married women is inappropriate. You should never go to a man's house without your husband. The only way that it's okay is if it's a friend of his and y'all are like brother and sister and y'all have grown close over the years, or it's a personal friend of yours. Like, you've been friends with this person 15, 20 years, or they your child's godparents, or he's a friend of yours from junior high school or high school. That's something totally different. A platonic friendship, whatever. You should be able to go to your friend house that you knew before your husband, of course, if y'all have a real platonic friendship. But your neighbor's house, you should never, and I can't stress this enough, you should never go to a man's house if you don't plan on having sex with him. And I stand strong in my beliefs. You should never put yourself in that situation, because even if y'all don't have sex, how does that look? You coming out his house and people are looking at you, and people are human. They see something, they're gonna say something, right? They're gonna assume that y'all up to no good. Like, ooh, I saw her going into his house. What they up to? She was in there for a while too. And then it's like, how you think he feels, the person that's inviting you over. And for you, it's just a little harmless cup of coffee. But why is he inviting you over and not your husband? You have to ask that. He knows that you're married. Or in her case, engaged. Same thing. Whatever. But he knows you have a man. Why is he not inviting your man? And that's what I would tell anybody. You know, I have a guy friend. He lives with his wife upstate. And he's never been able to come to events for whatever reason. But I always extended that invitation to his wife. I would never say, oh, only you could come to my event. I said, no, bring the whole family. Bring the wife, the dog, the kids, whatever. And vice versa. If, you know, not just for the ladies, for the fellas too. Fellas, if you friends with a girl, if she's a real friend, she's going to invite you and your wife and your girl. She's not going to just say, oh, just you. Right? She's not going to just say just you. She's going to invite your girl too. She's going to invite your wife too. If she's a real friend. If she's a true friend. She's going to invite you and your wife. She's going to invite you and, you know, somebody that she knows is dear to your heart. You know, or a neighbor that's trying to get with you. She's not going to invite your wife. She's going to say, oh, you can come over for coffee. What about my wife? Oh, she don't have to come. Okay, so that's a person that's trying to get in your pants. That's a person that's trying to get some dick. Clearly. And some men don't see that. You know, just like in this case, he didn't see it coming. She knew it. She was like, no, he's weird. There's something about him that's just weird. Look at the way he dresses. He dressed like it was 1950. First of all. Then his belief system was stuck in 1950. Any normal man wants his wife or significant other to work. You don't want your woman to work. Why? Because you want to be in control of everything. That's a narcissist. And back then we didn't understand the vocabulary term, but that's what it is. A person that is controlling. They want to control everything. That's the only reason. That's just like with a slave, right? A slave can't go out and do what they want to do because the master wants control. It's the same thing. Same mindset. Oh, I'll take everything, I'll pay all the bills, because if you start working and getting independence and getting confidence in yourself, then you realize, you know, oh, I don't need this man. I don't need him. I can actually make a living for myself, live on my own, and live peaceful and don't gotta deal with him. He doesn't want you to think like that. That's why some men, they don't want their wife to have friends, because those friends that are independent, they don't want them to get in their ear to do something with their life. And vice versa. You have women that's controlling too, and they don't want their husbands to have friends, because those friends is going to let them know, hey, she wrong for that. You know, whatever. But yeah, stranger danger. You should never, also, I'm going to say this too, you should never be in a man's car if you're not interested in him in that way. You know. And also, if it's just a harmless dinner or something, let him know from that first time, hey, I'm not really interested in you in that way. I'm just letting you know. And it's sad you have to think like that, but this is what it is. You never want to lead a person on. You never want somebody to think something could happen. So nip it in the bud right away. Like, hey, you know, I'm not really interested, but yeah, we could go out for drinks and as friends, right? Most men don't want to be friends. They don't. Now, some of us are blessed with guy friends, whatever. But you know, most men are not. They trying to hit, and if you're not gonna let them hit, that's it. So, but yeah. A lot of times, stranger danger could be avoided. Stop thinking everybody your friend, because they not. Okay. Don't let people in your car, and don't go into people's car. Right? These are all tips to avoid drama and anything else. Like, oh, you know, I gave you a ride home, and that's what people would do. They'll throw it in your face because they're human. Oh, I gave you a ride home several times. Da 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 da. And you like, what? I don't want you. Like, my husband was working late and you offered. And then they gonna be like, oh, you using me? I'm using you? What the hell? Like, we live across the street from each other. Like, yeah. You know, people are not right upstairs. The elevator don't go up. You know, so. And those are my thoughts. If you feel something, go by your gut feeling.